setting the stage for invasion. The Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan, were continuing to conquer Europe and the Pacific Islands. The Axis hold on North Africa was barely holding on, with immense pressure from the Allies driving them out. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, dubbed the Desert Fox by Allied troops, had fled back to Germany to meet with Hitler about the North Africa failures, and was reassigned to North Africa to oversee the Atlantic Wall due to his disappointing performance in the Mediterranean. By May 1943, the U.S. Army had acquired hard-won experience and tasted success in North Africa as 250,000 Axis forces, both German and Italian, surrendered at Tunisia. Allied leadership debated whether the next step taken by the Allies would not be a cross-channel attack in northern France, as preparations for such an expedition would be inadequate and premature. Instead, the next major initiative against the enemy would come in a Mediterranean crossing that would seek the first defeat of one of the three Axis powers, fascist Italy. Contrary to Winston Churchill's belief that Italy was the soft underbelly of Axis-controlled Europe, the Allied campaign in Italy was a long and bloody undertaking. Deception. Sicily was a natural route into mainland Italy and the European continent. The Allies could count on air cover from Malta for a Sicilian invasion. In an elaborate espionage operation known as Operation Mincemeat, designed to divert German defenses, British intelligence dressed a suicide victim as a Royal Marine, planted false papers on the corpse, and deposited the package off the coast of Spain for the Germans to find and interpret. This operation took its basis from the recovery of downed aircraft and seamen from sank vessels washing up on shore and stripped for intelligence, which was a frequent occurrence. The Germans took the bait, although Hitler was still concerned with the Balkans invasion due to the raw materials for the German war industry. With the ruse proven successful, German resources were shifted to the islands of Sardinia and Corsica, leaving Sicily with a less condensed population of troops. This was ideal for the go-ahead for the invasion. This may have been the most successful single deception operation of the entire war. Operation Husky. From July 3rd onward, Sicilian airfields and Axis communications with Italy were bombed. Beach defenses were left alone to preserve surprise where the landings would occur. By July 10th, only 2 airfields were fully operational and half of the aircraft had been forced to leave the island. In a preview of issues that the Allies would later famously encounter in the launching of the D-Day invasion into France, weather played a key role in the timing of the amphibious assault into Sicily. A storm interfered with the ability of the Allies to land paratroopers behind enemy lines, nearly delayed the launch, but the weather conditions also convinced the Allied powers that the offensive operation against them would not occur, providing the Allies with the element of surprise. Complications such as unexpected hidden offshore sandbars, troops landing in the wrong place and in the wrong order, and sometimes as much as 6 hours behind schedule, and paratroopers scattered everywhere, would later be on leadership's minds in preparations of D-Day. British gliders fared little better, with only 12 of 147 landing on target, and 69 crashing into the sea with over 200 men drowning before their war had started. On July 10, 1943, Allies launched Operation Husky. Before sunrise, a massive amphibious assault on the island's southern shores had begun. For the next 3 days, it involved more than 3,000 ships landing over 150,000 ground troops, covered by more than 4,000 aircraft. They were opposed on the island by only 2 German divisions, as Nazi leadership continued to believe that the main assault would come at Sardinia and Corsica. Sardinia and Corsica would have provided the Allies with better air cover for the European mainland, but they were not captured until later on. Sicily was a more strategic way to get troops into Italy, securing it faster for a better launching point into Germany. By the evening of July 19th, the Americans, Brits, and Canadians were well established ashore at the port of Syracuse amid fears of an Axis air onslaught. With the airfields on Sicily occupied due to the retreat of the Luftwaffe to mainland Italy, Allied air cover operations from Malta were dominant to the end of Operation Husky. Competition. Problems of military coordination and logistics, although diminishing, continue to plague the Allied forces. Competitive egos also emerged in the Allied leadership. Lieutenant General George S. Patton had landed with the 7th Army at Gela, while the British, under General Bernard Montgomery, led the 8th Army to the east. Montgomery's forces were charged with the advancing up the eastern shore directly toward Messina. Meanwhile, Patton's forces were charged with the protecting of Montgomery's flank and moving to the northwest toward Palermo. They would then be positioned to advance east across Sicily's northern shore to Messina. This would not be the last time Patton and Montgomery would have similar ego-fueled conflicts. Aftermath of landings. In the immediate aftermath of the Allied landings, German General Albert Kesselring judged that the Italian fighting force were so weak that the Germans were virtually on their own in the fight. Indeed, the Allies had believed that the Italian government was politically unstable and that they were not disappointed in that assessment. On July 24th, Italian dictator Benito Mussolini was deposed and arrested under a new Italian government headed by Pietro Badoglio, who immediately began to seek peace terms with the Allied governments and withdraw Italian troops the next day. Adolf Hitler was not easily assuaged and ordered the German troops to continue strong resistance. But before the German withdrawal from Sicily, Hitler canceled a major offensive at Kursk only after a week, in part to divert forces to Italy, resulting in a reduction of German strength on the Eastern Front. When the Allies closed in on the port of Messina on August 17, 1943, they discovered that the Germans had withdrawn more than 100,000 troops across the straits, reinforcing the Wehrmacht to continue the fight in mainland Italy. The northern campaign up the peninsula to free Italy and ultimately Western Europe would prove an arduous task. In 38 days, the Allies had taken the first major step along that continental road with the liberation of Sicily. The effort cost approximately 24,850 American, British, and Canadian casualties. Although there would be further twists and turns in the liberation of the Italian nation through Sicily, the Allies had successfully delivered a devastating blow against the first fascist government in world history when they topped Mussolini's regime. With Sicily under Allied control, the focus was now liberating Italy from German occupation. Thanks for watching this video of War Machine. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.